Good morning, everyone. I hope you brought your warm beverage today because where I am, it's supposed to snow. Now, we've been having 80, even up into 90-degree days, and today our high is going to be much, much lower. In fact, it's supposed to be 28 or 29 today.
Mm.
So pray for my fruit trees. I have a bunch of fruit trees and they are all flowered out, and we like our fruit. And these are new little trees and we don't want them to lose their first little batch. So anyway, Barbara likes cold drinks, even on the
I
coldest of days. She'll bundle up in a coat and blankets and everything, and then complain about how cold she is and drink a cold drink.
drink. Yeah. And I drink hot water sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and it's starting to snow out there. We've had horrific winds the last couple of days. In fact, yesterday we were at a funeral. Yes, on Sunday, but we were at a funeral, and somebody came and says, "Did they cut off your power today?" And I said, "I hadn't heard anything about it. I don't know." And they said, well, they said that XL Energy was going to cut off all the power in the area today because of the wind.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You kind of wonder.
Hmm. We've had the horrific fires and
Right.
evacuations and people losing their houses. The
Yeah.
town I live in, 4 out of 5 houses in some of the neighborhoods are gone. And when I say gone, I mean to the ground gone. Uh,
Mhm.
Nothing left except maybe a chimney, and they're piling up, foundation concrete and scrap metal and stuff at the curbs for the people to carry it off. It's something. But anyway, so it's like, okay, so now you're going to just cut it off in case, you know.
Oh,
So for that, I told Barbara, I said, I really want to talk about preparedness today. Um, I'm big about preparedness. I'm not in the middle of nowhere. I'm on a lake. We have a little community out here, um, but we're still kind of out. And so we have some power backups because, our electricity goes out sometimes for no reason, just
mhm.
because we live in the country. But, people even in the cities are having this happen.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but anyway, I'm Carol Henderson. I have the Life by Design studio, and I want people to live well, to live a healthy, vibrant life, and to circle up with every day. We all have our ups and our downs, but I want you to go up as you're doing your ebb and flow. So, and I work with people, spirit, soul, and body, to help them be the best that they can be. And I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Miss Barbara Ellison, and she will tell you about her.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, and I don't normally, I normally tell people my mission. I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. And that's my mission. But who do I work with? I work with now I've just really, like just really focusing down on late career business professionals to make their next career one of unlimited wellness. Carol and I are both in the wellness. But so many of the people that I work with, I want to take them from having loss of identity, that ill health, and financial uncertainty, but to get them into a place of clarity of purpose and that physical energy that they feel good every day, but also have financial stability because then they can thrive in a happy, healthy, active, debt-free, abundant retirement.
Mhm.
Just because we retire, we are not supposed to retire. We are supposed to revitalize our lives. So
Yeah,
that's what I do.
you
That's
don't need to spend your life sitting on the sofa
so
eating
fun.
bonbons and watching soap
Exactly.
operas.
Exactly. Let's make and that's what a friend of mine and I we were talking about. That's where that came from. It was like, well, our next career should be one of unlimited wellness
Well, it
in
should be
every
the fun
area.
one.
And it should be
Sometimes we
fun.
get stuck in a career because we are young It's something that we can get into, we can make money, we can raise our families, we can survive on
Pay our
that
bills,
and
pay our
thrive.
bills.
And now many people are pivoting at this point in life to the
Yeah,
fun career.
to the
I mean,
fun
just
career.
Barbara and I doing this, we have fun doing this. And
Yeah,
sometimes there's, different obstacles. Something comes up, internet's down,
yeah,
fires around all around. But so many things can happen, but this is something we do for fun. We don't
yeah,
monetize the channel. We hope that you may want to work with us, but
yeah,
we do it as a service,
yeah,
because we're both
yeah,
servant leaders. Uh,
right.
in that service, I want to focus in today. Do you need to be prepared? And it's not prepared like, okay, I have a speech coming up and things like
Right.
that. It's not that. This is, do you have a bug out bag? And do you know what a bug out bag is?
And
Um,
I have to admit that until Carol talked about it, it was like, a what? You know, I
it's
have and yet I used to have one. I used to have a winter prepared bag in
it's
my car.
yes.
And and part of it is part of it is missing right now, but part of it is still there of having to be able to, like, if you have a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, those kinds of things,
Mhm,
those cones that if you're stuck on the side of the road and you have no power and you want people to see that you're there and broken down and those kinds of things.
mhm,
But I used to have a winter one that it had in an extra coat, scarf, hat, boots, the whole 9 yards.
yeah.
And this,
And we know it takes up room.
we know it takes up
However,
room. However,
I have a friend that every time he drove through Texas, he lived in LA, and he would drive through Texas going to Atlanta. So he would come through on I-40 and everything. And invariably, he was stuck in a blizzard twice between Amarillo and Tucumcari. And one time he was there so long, and I didn't know he was there that time. I would have gone and gotten him if I could have. But anyway, and he drove a little Alfa Romeo Spider. So not a snow car.
not
And
a snow car,
anyway,
right?
and he was on the road, stopped in traffic. And by the morning, he was down in the car ditch because his car had slid off the
Right,
road, stopped. But
right.
anyway, you need to be prepared. Now, the kind of preparedness I'm talking about, yes, the road, whether it's summer, whether it's winter,
Yeah.
preparedness, but also you need a bag in your house. I had a go bag when I traveled every weekend with the model and talent agency. Now, it would have done for a permanent go bag, but I had everything in it, including skincare and stuff and underwear and socks. And I would, take out the dirty, wash it and restock it every week. But all I had to pull was like my outer clothes that were right for that event because I was on a plane, and this was all in a overhead carry bag. I can pack for 2 weeks in an overhead carry bag. Had medication in there. I mean, not that I take medication, but my melatonin to help me sleep in hotel rooms and such as that. And those are the things you need to think through. Make you a list.
Mhm.
And I know that some medications they give you a 30-day supply, but take a fourth of that and put it in your bag.
And don't forget to refresh it.
Yes, yes,
Don't
yeah.
forget to refresh it.
You don't have to refresh it every month, but 4 times a year, rotate it. But
Yeah.
do that and see if you can even get where you have, or even ask your doctor, can I get a few more for my go bag? Because even the government is telling you to have a preparedness bag. Okay. And it doesn't matter where you live. I mean, we have earthquakes on the coasts, and we have one of the biggest faults, and those of y'all living around the Mississippi River, especially
Where I'm at.
especially on the Meridian Fault,
Mhm.
which in the 1800s, I think it was, the Mississippi River flowed backwards for 2 weeks
Well,
because of an earthquake.
I didn't know that.
flowed
See,
backwards.
that's why you come to this show. We learn
Yeah.
something new every day,
Yeah,
including us.
it flowed backwards a little bit in recent times, but this was 2 weeks because the meridian is actually, I think, bigger than the San Andreas that we hear about. It's just less known.
Mhm.
So, and the people up where the rivers come together, the Missouri, the Ohio, and the Mississippi, that's about where it is really big up that way. So if it goes off, and they've been watching it and it's getting a little more active. So it doesn't matter what part of the country, every part has something. They have
Right,
earthquakes, or they have floods, or they have fires, or they have all of the above. I mean, look at California. I mean,
right.
they have fires, and then they have floods, and then they have mudslides, and then they have earthquakes, and but it doesn't matter where you live. You should have one of these bags. So many people around here, when the fires hit last month, were like, we grabbed. They didn't even, like, their kids didn't even have a chance to grab their own personal favorite toy. So,
Mhm.
I mean, you couldn't really pack a favorite toy, but you could have a bag packed with a few diapers, a little bit if your child is on formula, a can or whatever of formula in it. And the bag may get big depending on the size of your family, but squirrel away just a little bit of everything, all your meds, some skincare to get by. I mean, spare underwear. I was in one of the food trucks lines because we were so busy pulling things out for families that had nothing, that we a couple of times went to the food trucks and ate rather than take time to cook and clean up and stuff. Plus, my refrigerator went out on Sunday before the fire on Tuesday, so we had to go out to the barn to get mayonnaise. So we
So,
did eat a lot of sandwiches during that few weeks of time because sandwiches were easy. They didn't have to cook. You know, I could just slap them together. But I met a lady in a food truck, and it was just such an overwhelming story. We were in line, and Keith said, we can't be here. But she was trying to get, it was high winds, quite cold, and she's trying to put on her coat. And so we were helping her get into her coat. And it was a ratty coat. And she said, "This is all I have left.
mm,
This is
yeah.
all that I have left." And I was taking things down to the community service place, where they were, you know, passing things out to people. People could come pick up things. And there was a girl said, "Oh, we got a bra." And they were sorting things and threw it in a tub that was almost empty for bras and underwear. And I said, "I think I've got some bras with tags still on them that I got and tried, didn't like, didn't like how they fit when I got them home, and never got around to taking it back." I think we all have a few of those
We have
things.
all had a few of those things.
So I went and I said, I'll bring him up. She says, "We don't care if they've been worn. We don't care if they have tags. We don't care if the underwear has been worn." Said, "These women and men have nothing." Some of them had been in the same pair of underwear for 3 or 4 days at that point, the same underwear, and they're
Mhm.
willing to wear other people's used underwear.
Wow.
So think, if you're in that situation, if she'd had, if these people had had a go bag, hopefully, I mean, this fire moved quickly. I talked to one lady, they lost all of their acreage, but the fire went under a tractor and a pickup, and went under it and didn't affect the cars because it was moving so quickly. It
Oh,
didn't.
wow.
Yeah, the fire moved. I've forgotten. I think it was like a football field a second. Now stop
Wow.
and think, that's fast. Several of the people I've talked to, they said we barely got out. And so because of that, I'm saying, have you a go bag?
Mhm.
Earthquakes, you don't always get any warning. Tornadoes, you don't
No
always get
warning.
any warning. Hurricanes, you usually have some warning. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. My mom grew up in Houston and I grew up in the Panhandle. So I didn't quite understand that till I was older. But there are times that you don't have time to go pack a bag. And in that situation, you don't think this is what I need.
Right.
Think it
Exactly.
through, make you a list, pack your bag.
Make it accessible so that you don't have to, like, don't store it away where
Yeah,
you
don't
have
put
to,
it in the attic.
don't, exactly.
At best, a suitcase in the bottom of your closet that you can run grab and pull it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Or in the garage, or even in your trunk if it's a season for things like that. So, but do think it through. Make sure you have underwear. Make sure you've got toothpaste and a toothbrush. I mean, think of the comfort that brings when you have nothing.
Right.
Maybe some hand lotion and some wet wipes. uh, you know, Disinfectant wet wipes, whatever. And you can get little packages or you can get a big one. And, baby wipes work if you can't find, an adult type hand sanitizer kind. Um, a comb, a brush, if I mean, shampoo, shampoo. Go to Walmart or whatever, get those little dollar size, or go to Dollar Tree, which is now a dollar quarter tree. But anyway, I thought, oh, well, it's just a quarter. And somebody said that's a 25% increase.
Increase.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty, it is,
That's a hefty increase.
but it's still a dollar and a
Mm.
quarter. Go get you some shampoo, softener if you need it, a couple little packages of soap for the laundromat if you can find one. Things like that. So a roll of quarters for the laundromat.
Yeah.
Stick these kind of things in your go bag. Some people may have to walk. I mean, you may want it in a backpack. Uh, it Think it through for your family, but please.
Everybody's different. Everybody's
Yeah,
situation is
yeah,
different. Where you live is different.
yes, yes,
But it's the thought.
yeah.
It's the thought.
It's the preparedness, and it's the
The
fact that you
preparedness.
do have, I mean, even if you only have 1 or 2 days medication, but your medication, if there's any way your doctor, your doctor will give you an extra week's worth. Just say, I need it for my bug out bag is what they're called, or go bag. And, you know, you, it, just as an example, military people and stuff like that, they have those. People that protect the president or whatever, they have go bags. NCIS, they always said, grab your bag, and they had their bag ready to go at all times.
Yeah.
And so you need to think in those terms, because that's the climate we're living in now, that things are less settled than they were when we were kids.
Yeah.
So please, please, please get you a bag, because trust me, when you leave and you don't already have one, you won't have the right stuff. Any important papers, make sure you have your driver's license, your bank cards, any extra important records. Just have them in a plastic bag document envelope. I actually was cleaning out, getting stuff for these people, and I found a document envelope that I'd gotten at some business expo thing where they, somebody that does that kind of stuff. So you can get, and probably your bank would give you one, but a document envelope with important documents in your bug out bag, or copies of,
Right.
you can keep the original.
Keep the original, but
Keep your originals in a safe or in a
fireproof box.
Yes, but you know, and when I say fireproof box, I don't mean all of those little thin metal things. It needs to be a fireproof safe if you're gonna, or at the bank.
I have one.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you have what we had here, everything's gone. So make sure you have copies. The people that went through Katrina a few years ago, down in 2001, I think, when Katrina hit, we had Katrina and Rita and Ike all on the Gulf Coast within 2-3 weeks. All three of them hit all that coastal area, and they had no record of anything, and the banks had no record because they were devastated and flooded. A friend of ours that's in our mastermind, I didn't realize she could not go back to her home for 2 months
Yeah.
because the water had not subsided.
Yeah.
So think these things through. Different things can hit. So think of your area, what kind of things might hit your area, but make sure you have all your good stuff in a bag, and like Barbara said, copies of it, so that you can prove I did have this much in the bank. I did have, these are my records. And if you want to copy your bank statement every month, but even internet records were lost during Katrina. So, I mean, people had citizenship papers. If you need to prove your passport, if you need to prove anything, make sure you have that. And copies of your driver's license in case it gets lost, copies of your social security card if it gets lost. Put those copies in that document bag and put it in your go bag. Is there anything I've missed, Barbara?
Oh, well, every situation is different.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, but I think we've covered so much of the basics.
Yeah. Everybody needs the things we've covered. I mean,
Sure, yeah.
a little
So,
bit of food. Okay.
yeah,
If you don't have a good long-term storage food that is portable, get with us. We have the most amazing shake on the planet.
yeah,
Has 30 grams of protein, and it's all absorbable. And you can mix it in plain old water. Show them your shaker bottle. Yeah. Shake it up, stir it up with a spoon,
yeah,
whatever. I mean,
yeah.
I have a shaker bottle, I have a bag of shake. I mean, those were the first two things I packed when I packed my bug out bag for the
Mhm.
fire,
Yeah,
because we were under a possible evacuation. Then we were under a mandatory one. Our neighborhood was the first one that was evacuated. So do know that, and that's what I packed, because I knew that I could survive on that alone and nourish myself well, and my husband. So anyway, we have to go, but it is, I hope that I haven't just overloaded your boat, but please take it to prayer, because
mhm.
and you're at no loss by having it. Even
Right,
if you have food in there or medication in there, you can rotate it quarterly
right,
and still have it.
yeah,
The other two things from our line that I made sure were in my bag was the E-Vibe, which is an energy drink. And all these are powders, so there's no weight of uh, liquid. And then also the drench, because we were dealing with fires. And fires, we're a dry area anyway, but our fires made it drier. And so we needed to really work with our hydration and our energy during that time period. So anyway, any last minute, and then I'll
yeah.
tell.
Nope. This is good. Just be prepared.
Yes,
Yeah, just take it to
please
heart.
be
Take it to
prepared.
heart.
You will be glad you did. You in
Good.
that bug out bag, have extra underwear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Socks, panties, bras, whatever you need. So you won't have to be at the shelter wearing someone else's. Um, so if you see this on Facebook, please click like and share. Share with your friends, because we want them to be prepared too. And if you're watching this on YouTube, do the thumbs up, ring the bell, and subscribe. And then you'll know when we have shows coming up. So anyway, we have been missing some of our aging expert shows the last couple of weeks, because internet issues, being down because of the
Mhm.
fires and just overwhelmed. But we will be back with our aging experts and showing people how to pivot in life. But in the meantime, we love y'all. We thank you so much. So bye.
Bye, everybody.